All right, I'm back out here. As you can see, it's dark. Done said I was going to come back out here, but apparently I got out here way a little too late. Just a little too late, you know. So I'm out here cleaning these parts. And just wanted to show you what I mean by getting a motor on top dead center. Imagine that this cam sprocket is already bolted to the motor, which I'll show you that here in a minute. This arrow needs to be pointed downwards towards the crank. Now on the crank sprocket, which this is also where the oil pump sits, there's a dot. You can see it at the end of my finger. That dot needs to be lined up like that. That's why I say a lot that those dots needs to be like this. Here, hold on. Like that and like this. That's what I mean like that. It needs to be timed directly like that, because if not, guess what? It's not timed. So when I put this back on, I need to get the old one timed just like that, because if it's not timed like that, and when I go change this one, that's going to be a problem, you know. So I'm going to put this one back on. I'm going to time, hear me out, I'm going to time this one and the crank, which is this one, with this. I went ahead and cleaned this one up with the wire brush and a rag to get the oil off of it, because I couldn't even see that. I had to unbolt it just to get this off to look at it. Then I got to go in there and get the old one cleaned up a little bit so I can find that dot. I might go over it one time and just use a rag and clean it off so I can get that dot where that needs to be. Now, I do have a straw in the spark plug hole on number 1 piston. If it's not closed when I go to get that aligned, that means I have to go another degree with this. I can do this by hand. I'll show you here in a couple minutes. Let me go clean the old one up, then I'll show you how to time these two on the motor. All right, now that I'm out of where I was right down there, when I go to pull this straw, see, it's a little tight, but I can still move it. That's on top dead center, because it's tight. Now, if it was loose, I could just easily move my finger and that straw would come out. But watch this. Barely. A little bit harder. A little bit harder. There it comes. That's how it needs to be firm in there. Like, firm. But that right there is on top dead center. And another thing is I looked at this sprocket here. This one. And it's the same exact gear, or I thought that gear was bad. What I mean by gear is, see these? I thought that was bad because it kind of felt rough. But I was messing with it and I was looking at it. See, like on this one, it's got that dot. That dot and that arrow needs to be like it was on the engine now. But I was doing this and it doesn't feel like, it feels like this one, really. And this is brand new, out of the box. So what I was thinking is, instead of having to pull the old one off, since it's still the same here, I need to make sure that the pin, or whatever you call this, is still in there. And if it's still in there, that's good. So I'm going to look in there before I decide. But I'm thinking is if I don't need this, which I'm probably going to hang on to it anyway, what I would do is I'll only put the chain, the new chain, and the chain tensioner on, because the tensioner and the chain on the other one, the chain itself, the old one, it's like really loose. It's not great. The tensioner also, it's got warps in the plastic here and on this side. I'll show you over here. Don't mind my dog, he's just hanging out. But maybe it's real out of the way. So there's that spots, and I could feel it. Like it's got whelps in it. So I don't like that. And this chain's ruined. I mean, there's a lot of the play in that chain right there. I might keep it and get it remade or something. But it's got a lot of ordeal. It's got a lot of play in the chain, you know. And so I know I'm going to have to change this out. The sprocket, on the other hand, I don't think I'll need to. I don't want to change it. That's my problem. But what I'll do is I'll put the new chain and the chain tensioner back in, put the oil pump and everything back together, put the oil pan back in, and put some oil in there. All right, I'm currently laying down under the car. I wanted to show you the finished product of what it looked like. See that arrow on the cam? See that dot on the crank right there? They're both lined up. Now what you do, you see that pin right there? You pull it like this. Whee! She's out. The reason what this pin is for is to hold that in there so you can install the chain. Then once the plastic piece is up against the chain good enough, because you got to push hard to get those 2 bolts back into the reason why this pin is on there on this tensioner is so when this tensioner is up against the chain, it normally releases the extra whatever it has. So what you do is, yeah, this one's shot because it's all the way down at the bottom here. Like, I just pushed it back, but anyway, that's supposed to spring that way, and it's not. But put this into this hole, through this hole, all the way through the other side. That's how it holds it with this plastic piece here. But this is supposed to be sprung up against it, and that's why that pin's in there. But this spring, as you can see, is toast. Like, I have it wide open, and it's not even, I mean, it's not, you see. Normally it's supposed to go like this. It's supposed to push out, but it's not, it's shot. That's probably why I was losing so much chain tension, and the timing chain, or the timing, went out. So there you go. There's the finished product. Now I gotta turn it over. I'm gonna rotate it by hand to make sure all that goes back and comes back together. Before I do that, take the straw out. And she's still tight. I'll be darned. I have to have the force to pull it out. But yeah, that's on top dead center now. Now all I'm gonna do is rotate it, and I'm gonna watch these arrows when it comes back around to make sure they line up again. But yeah, there you go.